John 8:32. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So, in this section in John 8, we're getting a back and forth between Jesus, the religious Pharisees, and the crowd. So, in this section, Jesus is constantly telling them that they are liars and that they love to live in their lies. And of course, the people are combating and like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're demon possessed, yada, yada, yada. Then Jesus says, you guys don't want to accept the truth and you don't want to hear the truth. You hate me because I point out the truth. Because you can't accept the truth, you target me and you're trying to kill me. And then they backdoor and plotted to kill him. I just want to point out that that is life for a lot of us. If we haven't had people that we dealt with that are like this, we ourselves have to be at one point in time guilty of doing this. What this is basically saying is the lie is more comfortable than the truth. The truth does hurt. And if you're not ready to accept or hear something about yourself or about something you did or about in an area you may be flawed in, then you automatically turn up. You get defensive. You think someone is trying to condemn you when 9 times out of 10, a person who loves you and genuinely cares about you as Jesus cares about us, when he points out certain things in our lives, it's not to tell us that we're just terrible people. Healing starts when you accept truth and what the truth of your situation is. To accept the truth, you would have to then look in the mirror at yourself and realize that you are wrong. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that if you, in your heart of hearts, feel like there is nothing wrong. The Pharisees wasn't trying to hear that, right? They felt like they knew the scriptures front to back, back to front. And in all their studying, they still were missing the point somehow. They couldn't see that their hearts were more turned to control than to love. It's funny because the Pharisees could not see that in all their doing and in all their studying, even their ancestors couldn't make the law complete. And so because God knew this, he sent Jesus. And because of their hard hearts and their unwillingness to accept the truth, they couldn't accept help. You have to recognize that you have gotten it wrong somewhere. Once you realize this, you begin to start working on that thing. You begin to start viewing things different. You begin to start renewing your mind. They couldn't receive the help, not because they actually couldn't. It's because they refused to. Their pride, their ego, their narcissistic ways, the control in them, and not just Pharisees, but just apply this to people that you've probably come across in real life, or you may be that person yourself. Nobody can tell you anything because you're never wrong. And when people point out a truth about you in genuine love, even, and you're not ready to hear it, you automatically get defensive and you automatically start condemning. When the Pharisees heard him say that, they started accusing him of being demon possessed and tried to stone him. Jesus said in John 7:7 that the world hates me because I accuse it of doing evil, but it's the truth. And we see this in everyday life. How many evil things do we see in everyday life? Jesus tries to tell these people who he is and what he's come to do. And because they could not do it on their own, he became the living example of the very scriptures that they studied all the time. Their hearts were so filled with pride, they could not see the help that was being sent to them. It's legit immaturity. And when you're immature, you act immature. You start to do lame stuff. If you're a type of person who can't accept correction, because we know sometimes people do take it too far, but when you have people in your life that actually want to see you do better, if you're not willing to grow, those people will leave you behind. If you're not willing to accept the truth of Christ, you will get left behind. Not because he does not love you or he does not want you in his kingdom, because that's why we're preaching the message of the gospel in the first place. It may not be a truth that is easy to hear, but it is what it is, and you will get left behind, just like you would have to leave a person behind who's not trying to elevate, who doesn't want to grow, who doesn't want to grow past what they see is okay. I just talked about in my last video about Not everybody's definition of good is everybody else's definition of good. Not everybody's definition of evil is everybody else's definition of evil. And some of us stay stagnant and stuck at certain ages, in certain patterns and certain cycles, because we refuse to accept what truth is. Here's the pill. I'm gonna just shove it because you're not gonna listen.